Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? It's this guy that you love, your favorite wrestling fan, Eric Rodriguez, on the mic, here to talk about more and more wrestling. Hope you guys missed me like I missed you. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you lined up today. Today we have a little bit of Monday Night Raw review. A lot of stuff happened, so time is against us. So we have Monday Night Raw. Then we have a WWE NXT preview. Also with with the WWE draft like happening next week. I think like it's pretty fitting to kind of talk about it, seeing like maybe potential draft picks, maybe just like I don't know, just everything surrounding WWE NXT kind of going into its first WWE draft. So pretty exciting stuff. And then also, we got our third segment. We're going to talk about Rhea Ripley's injury, kind of more in depth, kind of what it means to WWE, and to kind of cap it all off. We're going to talk about who's going to be her successor. Who's going to win the world's women's championship when she's on the show for about 2 to 3 months? We're gonna play a little thing called Champ or Chump. All right, but well, before we get started, I just want to remind you guys to use the Tips and Donations link. We get a number of questions from our viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the Tips and Donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it, so we can talk about it. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want to further elaborate on, or hey, like tell me what you want a segment to be about, or like a topic. We're all for it here at the GSMC Sports Network. Also, it really helps the show, guys. A nice little positive review. It doesn't have to be positive, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we love peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network. So remember to hit up that. Once again, the link is at gsmcsports.net. Yeah. All right, moving on to our first segment here. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. A lot of good stuff happening, and an amazing Monday Night Raw. To be honest, if I have to say so myself, if I do say so myself. Monday Night Raw kind of started. I got my man on the chat right there, Jin freaking Ping. Hello, comrade. Hello, sir. Wrestling fans need to stay together. Let's do it. All right. Starting with Rhea Ripley, looking for, she came out looking heartbroken. Absolutely, she came out frustrated, annoyed, which you can kind of understandably so. She was essentially injured because of this whole Liv Morgan's revenge tour kind of thing, and of course, unfortunate things happen inside the ring, backstage, during promos. Hey, like shiitake stuff happens. Like, you know what I mean? What can you do? What can you do? But I don't know. She just looked really upset, and I don't know. She's gonna be. It just kind of makes you think. I know the moment I found out her, kind of what happened to Rhea Ripley, I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, okay, maybe she doesn't have to give the championship. Maybe she can be kind of like that Roman Reigns kind of like main Carter, where she could possibly like fight every other pay-per-view, not every single pay-per-view like like Roman did, or Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, or just something like that. But of course that really didn't really that wasn't the case. I'm guessing they're trying to do something big with the World Women's Championship, so they need the champion to kind of be there, like, you know what I mean? But still, I don't know. I think that's kind of bogus. I think that's kind of bogus. We had Rhea Ripley representing the company for such a long time as the world's women's champion, kicking ass, putting on good promos, you know amazing matches, and she's forced to vacate her title. I think she really she voiced that a lot. And we're gonna get into it. I have a whole segment dedicated to it, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. She says she's coming back for blood. Liv Morgan came out, and it just wasn't good after that. And then, her leaving the arena, you see her hugging Judgment Day, telling her to keep Judgment Day on top. But to be honest, what I kind of want to, I don't know, like Judgment Day just seems like they're kind of at fault without her. It feels like since Mommy's gone, Finn Balor seems like him, McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio kind of have different plans for where the Judgment Day wants to end up, as opposed to Damian Priest, the leader, well, the quote unquote leader. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see that. But we'll get more into it. Next, we have Sheamus returns. Sheamus, I gotta be honest, I love myself some Celtic Warrior fella. No, like he's just he looks bulky. To be honest, he looks bulky, but he looks good. He looks good. He said that he was, he's in the best shape of his life. That's what he said. That's what he told interviewers and, journalists and all that. That's cool. Cool, dude. Like, I hope you, make it toward the WWE Championship picture because to me he looked a little bulky like and you can see that that match with Viking Raider Ivar they took the match really slow to be honest like usually when someone comes back from an injury they don't really fight the first night. I want to think about someone from the last time I saw that in wrestling. To me, I can't put my finger on it right now, but I don't know. Sheamus came out and he kicked ass. He kicked some ass, man. He was able to win his match against Viking Raider Ivar, and hey, kudos to the Celtic Warrior and welcome back to the WWE. We missed you. All right, next we have Triple H coming out. Triple H, of course, awarded the Awesome Truth the new World Tag Team Champions. There is no longer a Raw Tag Team Champions, and there will be no longer a SmackDown Tag Team Champion. So, he's gonna crown Waller in theory on Friday Night SmackDown, but focusing on Monday Night Raw. Obviously we love the Awesome Truth. Like I like that finally Ron the Truth killing. Like he was able to have his WrestleMania moment after spending so much time within the WWE. He was finally able to have his WrestleMania moment as a tag team. Yeah, that's cool. Like it doesn't matter. Like as a singles wrestler, didn't really work out to plan. But to be honest, you have the Miz on your side. You are the new World Tag Team Champions in this new era of the Paul Levesque era. So hey, smile. I think it's going to be a pretty good ride, and I hope they don't lose their tag team championships right away. But I know there's a lot of good tag team champions, former tag team champions, and a lot of hungry young tag teams like the Creed brothers that are going to be itching and scratching toward that the world tag team title. So, it should be pretty cool. It should be interesting to see how Triple H does that. Triple H, he announced the number one contendership between DIY, Creed Brothers, and the New Day. Of course, after the segment aired, you kind of saw these guys coming out, and it was, it was pretty cool. Like out of all these guys, I can imagine like the Creed Brothers, doing, I don't know, they're an amazing tag team. They really are. Like, him and like I said before, it kind of reminds me of like an American Alpha kind of thing. But during the entrance of the New Day you kind of saw something pretty crazy here. And I just kind of want to talk about it. You saw the QR code. You saw the QR code. You saw the and there's only one thing, guys. I think it's Uncle Howdy. I want to say it's Uncle Howdy. Obviously, DIY won a chance to fight, Round of Truth Killings and the Miz, the Awesome Truth for the world tag team champions. But I don't know, like when I saw the QR code, I just thought it was absolutely awesome. I was like, man, I like it that WWE is kind of adding some kind of like like an oh man, like an oblivious like subliminal message kind of thing. Like they don't really do that anymore, and I think it was pretty cool. So people scanned the QR code. This is what came up. It said, "Time to wake up. Take my hand. Things will be better and trust me." So honestly, that's some pretty, that's some Uncle Howdy stuff like right there. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see what Uncle Howdy does. Eric Rowan has had some contract obligations in the independent circuit. He has not signed with anybody else, so I'm anticipating him maybe signing with WWE again, creating maybe this Wyatt Family 2.0 in honor of his brother. And of course, Alexa Bliss might come back next week at Columbus, Ohio. That's her hometown. So it's only like fitting. And also, you haven't seen Braun Strowman, although he is on the main roster on WWE.com. You haven't seen him out there. So honestly, wouldn't it surprise me to see these four come together and kind of have like a refurbished, kind of like a Wyatt family kind of thing. I don't know what they would call themselves, but obviously there's no talent or no wrestlers out there that's kind of like promoting this kind of like this weird, dark, ominous kind of thing. So I don't know. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Uncle Howdy. And yeah, so of course, all we have to do is we just gotta wait for next week. But you know. Anyway, so I got then Drew McIntyre had another promo where he blamed CM Punk for once again kind of costing him his chance to regain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which he does, which he has every right to do so. So they're building this match up to be something that's I don't know. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. I don't know if they're gonna push it all the way to WrestleMania 41. Honestly, the grandest stage of them all, maybe. But WWE SummerSlam seems pretty fitting because these guys have just been at each other's throat, like cutting promo after promo, talking trash, trying to beat each other up. This is just something that's I- it's going to benefit Drew McIntyre in the long run because CM Punk has already kind of like, I don't want to say he's seasoned, or I don't want to say like he's kind of peaked, but I believe that CM Punk right now, he respects the hell out of Drew McIntyre. Like you can see that in the ring, you can see that backstage. And to be honest, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys, their chemistry within the ring, because both of them are top tier performers. Obviously, CM Punk coming back from an injury. You had Drew McIntyre ultimately regaining his legacy at WrestleMania 41, and then ultimately losing it with a blink of an eye. 5 minutes. Oh, I had the spotlight for 5 minutes. No, and then Damian Priest catches in, and he's able to win that. So it should be interesting. Next, you have the Candice LeRae teaming up with Indy Hartwell, fighting Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree. Ultimately, like I said in the last podcast, that I think this is kind of going to kind of be where these guys kind of head forward within the women's division. And obviously, Ivy Nile was able. I no Ivy, no Indy Hartwell was able to play dirty like her partner Candice. So both of them kind of have that taste for heading toward being a heel. Absolutely heading toward being a heel. Obviously, you kind of have the draft coming up within the next couple of months. You have the WWE Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, and you have the WWE NXT Women's Champion. So it's only a matter of time until Raw gets their own WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. And honestly, putting the strap on LeRae and Hartwell, kind of seemed fitting because LeRae and Hartwell had an amazing career in NXT. Hartwell, obviously, the former WWE NXT Women's Champion. So, honestly, it's going to be pretty cool to see. I've mentioned before that, days and days and days ago, that a women's intercontinental championship would be pretty cool. So, that'd be, if somehow, some way, Terrorizer, Paul Levesque, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley is able to make that happen. Honestly, I think it would do the women's division really, really well. So, obviously there's that in your back pocket, mate. Next, you're gonna have Damian Priest, a nice little Damian Priest promo, where he was once homeless in his life. I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. That he not pretty cool that he's homeless, but pretty cool that he's kind of took nothing and made something out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people take that kind of lifestyle and they're like, hey, like, this is what God dealt me. I'm just content with it or complacent, whatever you want to use. But to be honest, Damian Priest isn't like that. He's the first ever Puerto Rican to hold a WWE championship, which is pretty cool. You can tell from like his promos. You can tell from like a lot of stuff he does backstage or off WWE. He kind of represents the Latin American community pretty well. And honestly, as much as he tries to be a heel, his persona, his aura just screams babyface. It really does. It really does. And honestly, I think they're heading for a nice little babyface turn for Damian Priest. Honestly, me myself, I would absolutely love that because Damian Priest, I was a huge fan of his when he was the bow and arrow, representing his people, Native American and stuff like that. So I think I don't know, I think he's kind of heading toward the face of the WWE as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Um, Obviously he's gonna face Jey Uso at Backlash, so that match is highly anticipated, and I think it's gonna be super super cool. I also kind of noticed something as well. Since Damian Priest is a diehard New York Yankees fan, his favorite player is Aaron Judge in right field. I just think it's kind of fitting that it's like the Judgment Day, and then they use the "All Rise." That's kind of what Yankees fans say once when Aaron Judge comes up to the plate, and he's kind of able to implement that into his creativity, into his persona in WWE is fantastic. Fantastic. Well done, mate. Well done. So I think that was pretty cool. Next, you had the backstage promo where he told Finn Balor that he has to fight Jey Uso to teach Jey Uso a lesson to kind of soften him up for Backlash. And the way that Finn Balor kind of looked at Damian Priest and kind of like his whole aura, like it just seems so negative. Like I don't think that Finn Balor wants to kind of be this backstage or like this backseat driver to the Judgment Day. I think he ultimately wants to take over Damian Priest's spot. I think that he doesn't want to be the wingman anymore. He's more of like a shot caller, which is kind of shocking, which is the reason why I'm kind of like the reason why Finn Balor, I want to see him in like a singles wrestling competition is because I don't see him as just like this tag team kind of guy. Like he even said to Damian Priest, "Hey, I thought we were going to go back after our tag team titles," and honestly, Damian Priest was like, "Look, like we gotta focus on Jey Uso." Honestly, I really don't think Damian Priest should go back to the tag team division. So I don't know. I think you have Trouble in Paradise. Should be interesting within the next couple of weeks what they decide to do with the Judgment Day since Mommy's gone. Maybe Rhea Ripley was the glue that was holding it all together. Who knows? But all right, next you have Piper Niven and Chelsea Green against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Ultimately, surprisingly, Niven and Green got the W. So they did what it took to win, and they won it pretty convincing. It was pretty fast too. And then Michael Cole was like, Chelsea Green is begging Ava to get me out of here, get me out of here. I want to go back to NXT. So can Chelsea Green hold the WWE NXT Women's Championship division based on her attitude, her personality, and she's not bad as a WWE in-ring performer. So honestly, it's possible that maybe they're grooming Chelsea Green to be drafted to the NXT and to ultimately hold down the strap. So who knows? Good for Chelsea Green. That's cool. Next, you had Cody Rhodes come out. Cody Rhodes kind of kept it short. He was just basically talking about The Rock, kind of keeping these fans hooked for The Rock, which makes me think that maybe The Rock might make a comeback at SummerSlam and challenge Cody Rhodes. But he said The Rock doesn't have one match left in him. He has multiple matches left inside, The Rock's legacy to come back and the rule ass boots the asses, baby. No, honestly, I thought it was a pretty good promo. I thought it was a pretty good promo. You kind of left it out there that The Rock is going to come back. The Rock is going to come back because back in WWE history, when The Rock said he was coming back, guess what? He never came back. Like he went out for milk and never came back. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. As a WWE fan, that's kind of exciting, especially since he's a chairman on the board of at TKO. That's pretty exciting stuff to see that The Rock's gonna come back. The final boss is gonna come back and make Cody Rhodes bleed once again. And that was my final boss's impersonation. I know it was really well. Yeah, grooming. I'm thinking about getting an agent and going to Hollywood and being like, a master actor impersonator. I'm just kidding, no. But and you kind of, then you have Jey Uso. Jey Uso fighting Finn Balor. This match was actually kind of surprising to me. Finn Balor has now kind of been demoted to that guy who's going to lose to Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jey Uso. I'm not. I think he's a great performer. I think he's very marketable. He has a heat thing going down right now. And then you had Damian Priest telling McDonough and Dominic Mysterio to take out Andrade. Didn't happen. And then you had Finn Balor saying, hey, I need you to take out Jey Uso before Backlash. Didn't happen. So ultimately, Damian Priest is very frustrated with the Judgment Day right now. And for him to call it quits, very, very likely. Absolutely very likely. And when the match ended, Damian Priest had him, man to man face stare down that WWE likes to do. He held up his World Heavyweight Championship, and Jey Uso kind of looked at it, and then McDonough and Dominic Mysterio attacked Uso from the back. Damian Priest wasn't happy. He didn't approve this. And then Finn Balor kind of told him, he's like, well, hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you acting noble right now that you had this belt all of a sudden? You're too good for us? You're too good for us, big man? You want to move forward past the Judgment Day? Like, I don't know what he told him, but that could have very much been so. But, obviously, Damian Priest wasn't happy. You kind of want to see that Damian Priest wants to be a genuine champion. He wants to, beat the best to define his legacy. And honestly, he's, I don't know, he's doing a pretty good job. All right, moving on. We're out of time here. So the Monday Night Raw ended with the Intercontinental Championship match, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, with Sami Zayn defending against Chad Gable. Ultimately, this was a really good match. It lasted I want to say a good 20 to 24 minutes. It was very, very good. A lot of technical wrestling, high flying moves, and a lot of close 3 counts. 1, 2, and then maybe I thought I heard a "This is awesome" chant. Don't quote me on that. But ultimately, Sami Zayn was able to pick up the victory in his hometown of Quebec, Canada. One of the things I kind of want to highlight was his entrance. The entrance. Jey Uso got done and ran away from not ran away. He was able to evade the attack from the Judgment Day. Came to Sami Zayn in the front of the Montreal, Quebec building. And they kind of had a moment there. And I kind of like how the WWE superstars are kind of engaging more within the crowd. I think that's pretty cool. You kind of see more fights going out to the crowd now. You had that Seth Rollins promo the night before WrestleMania where he challenged The Rock or Roman Reigns to a match. And, he fought Solo Sikoa in a Bloodline Rules match. But then you had Sami Zayn kind of come out, he was able to, I don't know, just begin his entrance within, and you see people at the concession stand standing in line, and everybody they look free. They look starstruck, which is something that the WWE should continue to do. But, honestly, that's my opinion. I think bringing your superstars closer to the audience is obviously better than keeping them kind of isolated like it was during the Vince McMahon / Shane McMahon era. But honestly, I think Paul Levesque should kind of keep promos like that. That was pretty cool. All right, and to kind of end it all off here, and it kind of really, really upset me, and I mentioned in the last podcast, I really hope that Chad Gable does not go heel. He turned heel, or maybe he didn't. I know a lot of people compare Chad Gable to a Kurt Angle, where Kurt Angle was honestly kind of better as a heel. So, with Chad Gable going heel and Damian Priest kind of going babyface, I don't know. I just think that Sami Zayn right now, his next opponent is probably going to be Bronson Reed. But I don't know. It's a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff to unpack. And Monday Night Raw, there's probably some stuff that I missed. Don't hate me. But the moment you come back from our break, we have our WWE NXT preview. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, and we're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reiterate what we talked about, segment one, talked a little bit about our Monday Night Raw review. It was a very good Monday Night Raw. If you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you do so. Next we have to look forward to our segment two. We're going to talk about WWE and NXT. But before we do that, of course, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link. We get a number of questions that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, gets put on top so we can talk about it. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just put your questions up on top so we can talk. It's nice to, have a nice little back and forth conversation. Although this is the Wrestling Laureate podcast, this is our show. This is our show. Like I cannot, I want to connect with the viewers. I want to see what you guys have to say about wrestling because something that you gotta love about wrestling is no matter who you talk to, there's always different narratives that people come up with, and it's very interesting. It actually compels a pretty amazing conversation. So once again, really helps the show. Leave a positive feedback, peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network, and also just remember the link is the GSMC podcast.net. Yeah, go ahead and use that if you want to talk to me. Talk to me. It's like Randy Orton. Season my. No, I'm just kidding. That was a bad impression. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, next we have our WWE NXT preview. Just to kind of, you have Trick Williams fighting for his life in a steel cage match against Carmelo Hayes. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a great match. It's right now on the West Coast, it's 8 o'clock, and we're going toward 8:30. So obviously, I'm gonna watch it as soon as I get done with this podcast, and probably give you guys a live reaction of what happened. So check out my YouTube shorts. But should be an interesting match. Ilya Dragunov told Trick Williams that he's basically going to have to run through the gauntlet, and if he can't make it, and he's going to fight Dragunov for a chance at the WWE NXT Championship, and if he loses, he has to leave NXT. So I don't know, that kind of sucks for Whoop That Trick. Next, you have the Authors in Pain in action tonight. You had Testament come back and attack. Frazier and Axiom. So, it should be interesting to see when it comes, when push comes to shove in terms of the match tonight. So you can probably expect AOP to pick up the win, kind of gain a little bit of momentum, and ultimately regaining those WWE NXT Tag Team titles. But that's just in my opinion. Honestly, that's just my opinion. Next, you have Ridge Holland in action. He's going to fight one of the guys from the LWO. I think it's Wild. I think he's going to fight Wild. They had a little backstage stunt where he accidentally hit him or closed the door in his hand, and it was just Ridge Holland, he looked beside himself. He was like, oh my God. That was the worst thing that could possibly happen. Oh no, my hand. I think I've broken it. No, I'm just kidding. But Rich Holland's going to be in action, which is kind of cool because this just confirms that his whole promo with having problems with his family isn't real. But, so that's good. That's good. I hope there's no real family problems within any wrestler's, life. So, I don't know, yeah, man, WWE kayfabe right there, playing to the hero. I like that. I like that a lot. Next we have Lola Vice against Soruka. Soruka is a rising star in the WWE NXT Women's Division. Wouldn't surprise me if she gets drafted. Honestly, not it wouldn't surprise me if she went to SmackDown or Raw to compete for the title. Especially who knows what's gonna happen next Monday night when they crown the new world's women's champion. I know there's a lot of speculation that Alexa Bliss might come back and Uncle Howdy and stuff like that. But honestly, Soruka, she's very talented and she can very much she can insert herself into that title picture anytime, anywhere. So, good for her. Next, we have Thea Hale. Thea Hale is going to fight Tatum Paxley. Recently on WWE NXT, Paxley attacked Valkyrie, kind of like her friend, but not her friend. So you can probably expect the same where Valkyrie will come out and probably attack, Tatum Paxley. And kind of start like a nice little legitimate, like a Carmelo Hayes and a Trick Williams, kind of feud there, where I was always there for you and you never acknowledged me or you put me down. I was losing you. You were once nice and now you're gone and now you're mean and now you're throwing me against the steps on WWE NXT where I was trying to challenge to get my title back. Why, Tatum? Why? I'm just kidding. But I can imagine, Valkyrie being very, very upset, and Lord only knows what's gonna happen. Next, you have Tony D'Angelo addressing the WWE NXT universe. I think he's kind of use this as an excuse to kind of say goodbye. Say goodbye. I think the family is going to wind up on WWE Raw or WWE SmackDown. So I think it should be interesting. Usually where D'Angelo, usually wherever the Don goes, attention follows. Definitely. Some viewers, you can't really, lose yourself on that grip. But Tony D'Angelo, he's the man. He's going to be the man. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's going to be the next one to challenge, like maybe like a Logan Paul or Sami Zayn, or hell, maybe he finds a way to fight, Damian Priest. Who knows? Who knows? Um, next, we're just going to talk about a little bit about NXT. NXT is going to be able to draft this WWE draft season, which is, I don't think that's ever happened before. I think maybe they've kind of like pinned some superstars over to NXT, but it was never really like NXT selects, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. But obviously, you've seen superstars from the main roster. Raw or SmackDown, like the Final Testament, Ivar, Natalia, Chelsea Green, kind of referencing or being at a WWE NXT event. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they draft those four superstars. And I don't know, it just kind of makes you think that I think that they are planning to make WWE NXT more than it actually already is. It could be bad, but it could not be bad. They just got to do it right. WWE Creative, Paul Levesque, they got to do it right. They got to do it right. They want to establish that they're not just a developmental brand anymore. NXT will be a third brand, kind of like your Monday Night Raw, kind of like your WWE SmackDown. Usually, the Monday Night Raw is like kind of that edgy, like kind of raunchy, kind of like anything can happen. And SmackDown is like that family show, whereas WWE NXT can kind of be like a developmental, bring people from the independent wrestling circuit, like people like MJF, kind of thing would be pretty cool. But only time will tell. Who knows? Um, of course, this is leading toward the pay-per-view spring breaking for the NXT coming up, and it's crazy to see the WWE NXT kind of going toward the CW. Like the CW is, their broadcast television don't necessarily need back in my day, and I know I'm gonna age myself here, we had the little box. We had the box, or we had the bunny ears, and we had that TV with the big thing attached to the back where where you can access channels like 2, 3. Channel 3 was usually like the local channels. Obviously you have NBC4, Channel 5, it's just Channel 8, I think, was the Chicago channel where you would see reruns of Friends over and over again. But anyways, it's gonna be pretty awesome. It's gonna be pretty awesome to see what how NXT kind of steps up being on broadcast television. But it's a 5-year agreement. It's a 5-year deal that's gonna start October 24th. So mark your calendars. So you can anticipate a lot of top superstars from the WWE kind of landing toward NXT during this draft, simply because they need the attention. They need a big superstar, kind of like how Cody Rhodes is with Raw, kind of like how, well, I don't know how long Roman's going to be out, like how Roman Reigns was for SmackDown. I think going to be on the CW, they're going to have to draft a pretty big name. They're going to have to draft a pretty big name. And to be honest, I see CM Punk going to WWE NXT. Like, why not? He spent a lot of time back there. He spent a lot of time with development with the superstars who are developing. And sources say that he loves being over in NXT. It wouldn't surprise me if they draft CM Punk, where they can take that Drew McIntyre CM Punk kind of like feud and kind of be that as like the main anchor to like kind of hold that the CW, kind of keep people on the edge of their seats, so to speak. Kind of like that Austin and The Rock feud that went on for just generations, not generations, that went on for years. And us as wrestling fans, kind of, we ate it up, which is, pretty darn cool. So, that could possibly be happening. Also, you can have the new bloodline. Maybe the new bloodline will be drafted to NXT. Like owning, like, obviously Solo Sikoa in the realm of SmackDown and Raw hasn't really proved himself as much of a dominant, wrestler at all, especially on the main card. But honestly, the moment that Solo Sikoa will go down to WWE NXT, he will be the main card. He will be the main event. He will be the tribal chief. If Paul Heyman stays with him, that's a whole nother thing by itself. But you can see like a bloodline of Solo Sikoa taking Tama Tonga and his cousin I think it's Jacob Fatu who signed with WWE and kind of have his own little bloodline over there in WWE NXT and eventually winning himself the WWE NXT Championship. So yeah, that could also happen as well. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people, there's a lot of skepticism around it. There's a lot of criticism saying that I don't know, the WWE NXT has always been kind of developmental, and that's why people love it. That's why audience member likes. That's why they like to watch it. So why, don't fix something if it ain't broken. So you have these young guys coming up through the NXT developmental, process. So they're obviously out there like busting their ass. You know, I don't necessarily agree with this notion, but I don't necessarily disagree because I'm kind of in the middle where it comes, when it comes to WWE NXT being its own entity. Because they have tried it in the past where they tried to get something, and it's just I don't know. Like I said, if this is the work, it's it has to be done right. It has to be done well, and because NXT, well, morely like during the Vince McMahon era and what Vince kind of made NXT, it kind of seemed like people who went to NXT it was kind of like a step down. It was a step down to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, where you would where you would see main carders like go down to the WWE NXT. Like, and you got to think about it, from another perspective. Who besides Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and excluding the women's division right now? Well, not honestly. Let's absorb the women's division. Like, who else besides Becky Lynch, Bayley, Charlotte, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins? Who else has kind of made a name out of themselves coming out from NXT? You know, who has made a name? Like, you got to think about names like like Keith Lee didn't really make it, ended up leaving. You had guys like Aleister Black didn't make it, left the company. The Undisputed Era, Adam Cole didn't really make it on the main roster. Guess what? He went to another company. And then you have Samoa Joe, went to another company. Finn Balor, he's on the main card, but he's losing to people like Jey Uso. And you also have Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura lost to that young guy on WWE NXT, and it's like, whoa, like what's absolutely happening right now? Like, why? Why would you like tease the fact that WWE NXT superstars could make it up to Raw and SmackDown and kind of be divvied out and transferred to each other if in the past that wasn't really the case? And I think that's the reason why they're getting a lot of scrutiny here of trying to make WWE NXT his own entity. But only time will tell. Then also you have Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens as well. Shayna Baszler, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks wasn't happy with the WWE creative, ended up leaving and going to New Japan Wrestling and eventually winding up in AEW as the CEO. So honestly, there's just a lot of stuff that could I don't know, a lot of stuff that could just go wrong here in this WWE NXT, kind of draft thing. But I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff that could happen. There's a lot of maybe it could come out to be super, super cool. We don't know that. But I don't know. And it just makes you think that will there be kind of like another developmental, you had WWE NXT kind of level up here, but it wasn't necessarily kind of like the biggest deal, like you know what I mean? But to be honest, I think WWE NXT can kind of hold in, on its own. Like looking at the picture, you see Tommaso Ciampa, you see, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, like Ricochet. You don't see those guys on the main card anymore. Like Zoe Starks, and look at what they did with Grayson Waller, the Grayson Waller effect, and now he's a tag team champion with Austin Theory, which Austin Theory is another failed attempt by Vince McMahon. He was the last guy that Vince McMahon picked, and Paul Levesque was like, you know what? Let's put this guy in the tag team division. No, I'm just kidding. But not taking anything away from Austin Theory at all. But honestly, I don't know. You have WWE NXT taking place in Orlando at Full Sail University, and there's just not that many spots. I don't know if they're gonna start selling like WWE live events like Raw and SmackDown. But if you're gonna do that, you have to realize what comes with that, like ticket sales, merchandise, marketing, and everything. Everything above. Like you kind of have to focus on that. You kind of have to make WWE NXT its own brand, and with that comes a lot of work. A lot of people were able to just like kind of go to like an NXT like nonchalant and be like, oh, it's kind of cool. But now they're gonna definitely jack up the ticket sales. Are they gonna lose audience members? Maybe. And then you have this draft coming up, where you can lose guys that you love to see, like Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, and just a lot of talent over there. And honestly, like I said, if it's done the right way, I think it can definitely happen. But if it ends up bad, where where it looks like trash and not a lot of people show up, kind of like in AEW, I don't know. It's devastating. It's devastating for the organization, and not just devastating for the organization. It's devastating for those NXT stars who have, busted their ass to like make NXT the way it is right now, like dragging off Tony D'Angelo and also, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. To be honest, if I'm one of those guys, honestly, I kind of wouldn't want, WWE and NXT to kind of be its own entity. But that's just me. I could be a hater. Obviously, if you think differently, leave a, comment in the chat. We can talk about it. But yeah. All right, moving forward, our next segment, we're going to talk about Rhea Ripley vacating her championship title. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and we are back, my wrestling peeps. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about a little bit of Monday Night Raw review. We also talked about WWE NXT preview. Also, if WWE NXT should kind of be its own entity, some people agree, some people have scrutiny against it. To be honest, I'm kind of stuck in the middle, kind of like everybody else. But next we're going to talk about Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley vacating her World Women's Championship. Kind of sucks, especially since she's been on such a tear since kind of being on, winning Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. And I don't know, it just kind of sucks. But so she officially confirmed that the talk of the pro wrestling news yesterday was actually true. That she is going to vacate the Women's World Championship, and ultimately kind of like a huge setback in terms of her not relationship, her professional, just her career. And it just sucks because the whole thing with the Live Revenge tour and her throwing out her shoulder, it's terrible. But kind of moving on. So it was attacked by Liv Morgan last week, where she threw a chair and it didn't land really well. She threw it against the wall, didn't really land really well. Then bam, there goes her shoulder. She had the title since WrestleMania 39 by defeating Charlotte Flair. Um, she had this to say. She said on Monday Night Raw, she said, "I am angry right now. I'm pissed off. I've been told that I need to vacate the thing that means the most to me." Obviously, she's meaning toward her World Women's Championship. And then the crowd was chanting, bull spit. And to be honest, I think I was actually, when I watched the replay, I was like chanting as well. I was like, "This is bull spit." No, I'm just kidding. But ultimately, I feel bad for Rhea Ripley. She's worked her butt off to be where she is at right now, and obviously, every single time a superstar gets injured, it's, they want to come back better and stronger than ever. Like I said, we haven't had any of this happen during the Paul Levesque era, so maybe it could perhaps be different as as compared to the Vince McMahon era, which I hope it is. But I don't know, we gotta wish the best for her. Really gotta wish the best for her. And when the moment she laid her belt down in the middle of the ring, that's when I kind of knew that it was this was going to happen. And she called out Liv Morgan. She said, "Thanks to Liv Morgan and her stupid revenge tour," and everybody was like, "Oh my God, like that's crazy, like that's so cool." Like, to be honest, like when she dissed Liv Morgan, I was like, yeah, her revenge tour is stupid. No, I'm just kidding. No, like I said, I like Liv Morgan, but I don't think she can really hold the women's division or the championship, well. But I don't know. And like I said before, she was the glue to the Judgment Day. She was gone. She got injured and stated that she vacated the title and she left. What happened on the first day? You see discrepancy between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and there's already trouble in paradise. Like when mommy leaves, you bet your butt that the house is gonna burn down. So the Lord knows what's gonna happen with that. Um, it's been confirmed from sources that it is an AC joint sprain, and she will miss quite some time. They anticipate. Dave Meltzer said in an interview that it's anticipated 3 months. So that's it's not too bad. That's not too bad. Um, honestly, fans seem behind her, and this makes me think that when she comes back, I don't think she's going to be able to play that heel role like anymore. So that makes me think that maybe they might disband the Judgment Day and kind of have Rhea Ripley kind of have her own thing. You can see the Dirty Dom storyline kind of go out of the get, kind of be thrown out there. Or you can have a match with her, maybe fighting the whoever holds the championship, and then you have Dirty Dom like trying to turn his back on Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea Ripley's like, "It's over," and like she like punches him in the face, and then that's the end of Dirty Dom. But like I said before, I never really saw Rhea Ripley as kind of like that total heel because the fans like her so damn much. And to be honest, as a fan, I like seeing her wrestle as well. I like seeing her wrestle as well. You can tell from her personality that she's not really going to be the one to kind of cater to the fans or necessarily do anything purposely to kind of seem as kind of see him as like a heel, which is kind of cool. Which is I think that WWE wrestling should kind of adapt with the Rhea Ripley characters. You should let wrestlers kind of do their own thing. I once compared her to like kind of like a Randy Orton kind of character, where they're gonna kind of do whatever benefits them. If you like it, you cheer. If you don't, you boo. And honestly, that's why I like Rhea Ripley so much. She's so versatile. Absolutely, 100%. And like I said, she's heading toward maybe like a baby face. So is Liv Morgan heading toward a heel? Possibly, most likely. But I don't know. You have that. Oh God, I really hope that Liv Morgan does not win the championship. And I know it might seem evil of me, or it might seem, downright disgusting. No, but I think that Rhea Ripley is going to come back better and stronger than ever, and I don't want to see her just beat the crap out of Liv Morgan. I don't. I know a lot of people do, but put the strap on somebody else, like someone that's going to put up a nice, match for Rhea Ripley to come back and fight for her title back, ultimately winning and kind of fighting for her baby, which she cares, so much for. The thing she loves the most in this world is that WWE World's Women's Championship. So, they got to do right by her and make it, got to do some pretty impressive booking here. Next, just kind of throw some flowers on Rhea Ripley. A little backstory. Rhea Ripley was born October 11th, 1996 in Adelaide, South Australia. Her real name is Demi Bennett. That's actually a pretty cool name. That like I was reading like and it kept saying like Bennett this, Bennett that, and I was like, who the hell is like? And then I finally read it and I was like, oh. So She began pro wrestling in 2013 and was actually invited into a WWE audition. But the invitation was withdrawn because she was under the age of 21. So that just means that this girl was born to wrestle. She was born to wrestle. She was probably like maybe like 14 to like 17 years old, and she was auditioning for the WWE, and they liked her. And the moment they found out her age, and they're like, never mind. Like, but she was made to wrestle. She officially debuted. She officially debuted on an August 25th, 2017 episode of WWE NXT. It was an untelevised live event. Um, she's the first ever WWE NXT UK Women's World Champion. She's won the Women's Tag Team Championship with Nikki SAH. She's also the 2023 Royal Rumble winner, the first ever woman to come in number one and win the Royal Rumble, ultimately leading to her first title reign, beating Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. So, good for Rhea Ripley. Hope she comes back better and stronger than ever. And yeah, honestly, I can't wait to see her come back. All right, our fourth and final segment. Don't go anywhere. I said the best for last. We have our champ or chump. We have obviously Rhea Ripley just vacated the championship next Monday night on Raw. I don't know who the superstars are that are going to be fighting for it, but we're going to see if they can win the championship. In that case, they're a champ, or if they're unable to, or they would just be a terrible champion. I would honestly say they are chump. So yeah, don't go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about our Monday Night Raw review. It's a very, very good Monday Night Raw. We talked about WWE NXT preview and also WWE NXT possible storylines heading toward the draft. And we also had we kind of dig a little bit deeper of what happened to Rhea Ripley, what does this mean for her future, and ultimately in our next segment we're going to talk about who will not replace Rhea Ripley because that sounds kind of mean. Who will represent the WWE World's Women's Champion? And I don't know. I'm all for it. I'm ready to do this. Are you ready? No, I said, are you ready? All right, champ or chump. Right off the bat, we have Alexa Bliss. I love Alexa Bliss. I think that she's going to probably make a comeback in her hometown of Columbus, Ohio. So obviously, she's a Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion. She could definitely. Is she gonna come back as like kind of like that sister Abigail or like that sister Alexa kind of thing with Uncle Howdy? I don't know. I hope so. That'd be pretty badass. But yeah, honestly, I would love to see Alexa Bliss come back and kind of do her thing. And will she win the championship? Will they give her the championship as soon as she comes back into the WWE? I don't know, but I don't know. Her as a champion, she does pretty well, pretty well. Next, we have the Empress. We have Asuka. Asuka, she's the first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner. She's also a Grand Slam champion. She's achieved it faster than any other WWE Women's superstar. So it's definitely like I know right now she's the tag team champion with Kairi Sane, but I can see this happening. I can see her, making a jump back into singles competition, which I've been dying well, and also wrestling fans, which, we've been dying for, such a long time. Next, we have Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, I don't know. I'm going to say chump here. We get a chump right here, guys. Chump. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm not kidding about her being a chump. But I don't think she would represent the brand pretty well. I think she should stay on NXT. She should stay WWE NXT, but that's just my opinion. But kind of going from Rhea Ripley, the Eradicator, absolutely dominant in her matches, to Roxanne Perez. Not trying to take away, anything from Roxanne, but to be honest, I can't see her representing the WWE World's Women's Champion, kind of like Rhea Ripley is. Which makes you think that maybe that they're going to give the title to some like newcomer so that like everyone's like kind of like a placeholder. Like in the NFL where you draft a quarterback and then you kind of have like a veteran quarterback kind of being that placeholder, kind of like how Alex Smith was for Patrick Mahomes, kind of like how Sam Darnold was for Zach Wilson, although that didn't really line up well. But anyways, yeah, honestly, I think this is pretty chump right now. Next we have Becky Lynch, the man, the man coming back and possibly making a title run. Um, I can kind of see that happening because she recently fought her at WrestleMania, which makes me think that if they were going to get, but then again, you can't really, dictate anything or put, pinpoint your finger on anything because this is an injury. This is unprecedented. They didn't expect this to happen. So, honestly, if there's anybody to carry the title pretty well, I think Becky was pretty good. I'm going to say champ here. I'm going to say champ. I think she would be a pretty good champion and, pretty awesome. Next, we have Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, the EST of the WWE. Um, Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Held the title really well. Ultimately, Io Sky had to cash in her money in the bank to kind of get, to steal her championship away from her. But I don't know right now what they're doing with her and Jade Cargill. If they're gonna try to go toward the WWE Women's Championship, I don't know. But all I know is Bianca is very impressive, and she would make a good champ. So I'm gonna say champ here. Absolutely. Next, we have Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair coming back and winning the WWE World Women's Championship. Honestly, it's been a while since she's been viewed on WWE. I don't know why I keep someone doing that, but no, and I think she would make a great champion. Charlotte Flair is the best, one of the best women's champions of all time, superstar of all time. Because there's Trish Stratus, you also have like Lita, you had back in my day where you had Ivory, and then who else was a really really good? You had Sable, back in the Attitude Era. Yeah, fabulous movie. So the list goes on and on about these impressive girls holding titles. So honestly, I would like to see Charlotte Flair come back. So I'm gonna say she's gonna be champ decision right there. All right, and we have Io Sky. Io Sky losing her championship to Bayley, night 2 of WWE WrestleMania 40. Um, Maybe bringing Damage Control from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, keeping that little fad together. But to be honest, I don't want to see them staying together, and that might be mean. But I want to see Asuka kind of pursue her singles career, and if Io Sky can team up with Kairi Sane to fight for the WWE Women's World Championship, maybe she could replace Asuka, and she could be the new Kabuki Warrior. I wouldn't be, absolutely upset about that. So honestly, I would kind of prefer that. Next, you have Jade Cargill. Kind of what I mentioned about Jade within the past, that she's kind of had a history of injuries, and I think she's kind of still kind of play it safe. Will she be in the match? Probably. Will she win? I'm gonna say mm, maybe 70%. No. And like I said before, nothing against her talent or anything like that. I just don't think she's ready. She just came into the WWE from AEW. She's been impressive so far against Chelsea Green, Dakota Kai, basically no really like big names here. So honestly, I think they should just keep the storyline that they have with her and Belair of challenging the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team titles. So yeah, I'm gonna say that would be a pretty chump decision for her to win. Next, we have Liv Morgan. Oh God, why do I keep running into these situations where you guys make me trash Liv Morgan? No, I'm just kidding. It's not you, it's me. No, but honestly, I'm gonna say, oh God. Well, although I think that that's what WWE kind of wants to do is put the strap on Liv Morgan, I'm gonna say chump. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say chump. Next, we have Nia Jax. Nia Jax cut a pretty good promo on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, she's very impressive. She's technically bloodline, dude. She's technically bloodline, bro. But I don't think that she's going to be taking the WWE World's Women's Championship too lightly. She's going to fight for that thing. She's ready. And to be honest, you have Bailey that turned face WrestleMania, and she's on SmackDown. And honestly, you kind of need that bad girl. You kind of need that, that bad girl mentality, that heel. And Nia Jax is unstoppable. And if Nia Jax could definitely hold on to the championship, where she would fight Rhea Ripley when Rhea Ripley comes back from injury, where, you have Nia Jax kind of kicking ass, taking names. She's held the World's Women's Championship for so long. And then Rhea Ripley comes back, and then she ultimately reclaims what was hers. Honestly, I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to say champ here. Absolutely, champ, mate. Champ. Next, you have Shayna Baszler. Love Shayna Baszler. Um, like I mentioned before in my NXT, segment, what they did with kind of superstars that were very successful in NXT, and that they pick and choose when Shayna Baszler is going to be successful. Like I said before, like you kind of had her in that Elimination Chamber match where she won, and she was like beating the crap out of everybody. She even like destroyed Asuka. I think Asuka probably has like she's a hell of a lot more like skilled than Shayna Baszler is, at least in the WWE ring. I'm not saying, within like a UFC kind of vicinity here. But it would be kind of interesting to see Shayna, come out as a champion, but I'm going to say Chump here. I'm going to say Chump. It'd be a Chump decision giving her the strap. Next, you have Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. I love Tiffy time. I love her personality. I love how she's trying to be like a heel. I don't know if they're kind of booking her with Bailey right now in the whole Naomi situation. I kind of see her perhaps maybe getting involved next week or getting involved this week on Friday Night SmackDown, where Naomi fights Bailey for the WWE Women's Championship. So that could be very much what they're kind of planning her for. But I believe Tiffany Stratton is ready to kind of take the next step in her, in her career. So, and she's kind of like that heel. They kind of play into that heel thing, where, someone could try to fight her, someone could try to beat her up. Highly doubtful, because Tiffany Stratton is more than just a pretty face. She's ready to kick some butt. So, those are the people that was my champ or chump. Obviously, it's going to be really, really hard to find someone to take over Rhea Ripley and to kind of fill out the shoes there, because she was an amazing superstar. She was able to put on good matches, especially against other wrestlers that look like they really can like hold their own in the ring, kind of like Liv Morgan, like, you know what I mean. And there's actually times where she fought Becky Lynch on WrestleMania, and I was like, man, Becky looking slow. Like, I don't know what Becky looked like. She couldn't hold Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley's like absolutely dominant. Like, you can't fight the Eradicator. But I don't know. Sad that she lost her. She had to vacate her championship, but she's gonna be back better than ever. And you even saw Triple H in the background that that he told him, you had that hug. You had that hug. And I think that hug was like, hey, whenever you come back, guess what? You're going to be the World's Women's Championship. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I hope you guys are, if you guys are tired of me talking, guess what? It's the end of the show. Don't cry. Don't cry. I'll cry with you. No, I'm just kidding. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button and leave a positive review for the show. Positive feedback goes a long way, guys. At the GSMC Sports Network, we love peace, love, and positivity, baby, all the way. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter, /X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok for more content and updates. Like I said before, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, or if you're just totally annoyed at the sound of my voice, it happens a lot. Believe me, you should talk to my wife. We have a lot of other shows here on the GSMC Sports Network. We have baseball, football, basketball. We have the Andrew Tate show. We have the sports show with TJ and Jeremy. So and we're also we have a soccer podcast coming up. Pretty cool. We have Hoops and Heels. We're going to talk about, women's sports. Women's sports is popping right now, guys. Absolutely popping. So, don't miss the revolution. Be a part of the GSMC Sports Network bloodline. Thank you once again. And, of course, have a phenomenal day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work. Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of